Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Sick in the Sick Shot Media Entertainment Channel, and this is going to be a Tekken 8 Eddy Gordo's stance transition guide. This is going to go over every single move that transitions to the stance and their properties and so on and so forth. So, if you enjoyed the video and you learned something new, please smash the like button. Also, if you're new to their channel, consider subscribing, and let's get started. So, the first stance we're going to talk about is his handstand stance, which is called Baronera, and there's two ways to do this manually. You could do it by pressing forward 1+2, and he's going to do a handstand going forward, and you could do back 1+2, and he's going to do a handstand going backwards. So yeah, and when you're in handstand stance, you can press down or up to switch into negativa, so just keep that in mind, and we're going to talk about that more later on in the video. So the first stance transition we're going to talk about is 1-2 forward. 1-2 forward on hit, block, or whiff will transition into handstand stance. So always keep that in mind. On hit, you are +3 if you transition into handstand. So this sets up his handstand 4-2, which is a counter hit launcher that starts a combo. So this is pretty good if you know that your opponent is going to mash buttons after getting hit by 1-2 forward. Handstand 4-2 is unsafe on block by 13 frames, so you will only do it if you know that your opponent is going to mash. But you could do the handstand 4 alone, and it's only -3, and you can repeatedly do it, or you could go into any other handstand moves. The next transition we're going to talk about is 2-3. It's a 12 frame punish. It's 30 damage. It gives you +8 on hit. You go into handstand, and being +8 sets up Eddy's handstand frame trap game perfectly when you use this as a punisher. Make sure to only use 2-3 as a punisher because it's -8 on block, and there's no type of retaliation you could do to stop your opponent from punishing you. So just keep that in mind. So the next stance transition we're going to talk about is 3-3. It puts him to handstand. The second hit hits. It is +8, so you get in the same situation you would be in if you did the 2-3. It is not a natural combo. It's only a natural combo on counter hit, so keep that in mind. And on counter hit, it's still +8 as well. So when 3-3 is blocked, you're only -3, so you have enough frames to do some type of retaliation. So due to the pushback, if your opponent try to punish you with highs, your 4-2 will beat them out, but if they go with a mid, then you would get beat out. Your 4-2 will get beat out. So if you know that your opponent's going to challenge you with a mid, you could use his power crush, which you do by doing 1+2 while you in handstand stance. So keep that in mind. He also has a backswing blow in handstand stance, which is done by doing back 3. As you can see, he will completely move out the way. But if your opponent does more than one hit that goes forward, it will hit them. Also, if they use a long reach and attack, they will hit them out of this as well. The next move we're going to talk about that transition into a handstand is 4-3-4 forward. So the 4-3-4 is tracking, and the second hit is the mid, right? So you're most likely going to use, I use this a lot at the wall because it tracks, it wall splats. And if my opponent respects the second hit, I could transition into a handstand and go for whatever type of handstand mixes I want from there. I could go into the grab, plus frames, so on and so forth. The next stance transition we're going to talk about is Eddy's forward 4. When you hold forward after the forward 4, it goes into handstand. On hit, it's +8. And being +8, you have frame advantage to go for your handstand frame traps. But on block, you are -8, so you won't be able to go into any frame traps because your opponent will challenge and hit you out of the handstand. So you have followers for that, right? So if your opponent hits you out of your forward 4 handstand, you could do forward 4-4, 3+4, which if the second hit counter hits, the rest of the string is guaranteed, and you get a guaranteed quarter circle forward 3 follow-up. You could also do forward 4, 3+4, which is also uninterruptible, so your opponent has to block the low, and if your opponent gets hit from the low, then you could do negative with 3+4 to get a guaranteed follow-up. This same situation is present with back 1-4 as well. You can go into handstand after the 4 and the back 1-4 and do all the same options. So the next transition we're going to talk about is back 4-4 forward. After the first hit, you would fake the second hit and go into a handstand. But keep in mind that if your opponent just mash your buttons, they can hit you out of this. So the way to deal with this is by finishing the string by pressing back 4-4-3. And if it hits counter hit, the whole string is guaranteed and you get a quarter circle 4-3 follow up. The next transition we're going to talk about is up 4-3 forward. Up 4-3 forward transition to handstand, and up 4-3 has follow-up attacks as well. So if your opponent is scared to press buttons because they don't want to get hit by up 4-3-3 or up 4-3-4, you could just go into your handstand and go for whatever mix-up you want. So it's pretty good. I don't use it as much, but it's decent. Another move that transitions to his handstand stance is his forward 4-4. It is -12 on block, so it's not really a move you want to be throwing out there like that because you can get punished. But you won't eat a big punish. Also, you could condition your opponent with the 4-4-4 by doing 4-4-3, which is a low. You condition with that move enough times, they're going to want to start ducking. And you could do the 4-4-4, which is a launcher. You get a full combo if it hits, no counter hit. It's a normal hit launcher, so that's pretty good, and you get whatever combo you want from there. So it's all right. So the next transition we're gonna talk about is his forward 3+4 forward. When you do the move without the forward at the end, you get this move right here, and it's +3 on block, so that's really good. And it sets up for any type of 13 frame trap because it's +3 on block, so that's good. Once you condition your opponent to block, you could psych them out by going into the handstand by pressing the forward after the 4-4-3+4, and you could go into plus frames or your grab mix up or whatever you want from there. So the next move we're going to talk about is his running 3. His running 3 on block is +8, so you could get whatever handstand mix up from there from being +8 on block, and it's pretty good too. It's very linear, so your opponent can sidestep it, so just keep that in mind. The next transition we're going to talk about is his wild rising 4-4 forward. So if you do wild rising 4-4 forward, you transition to handstand stance. And it's kind of the same situation as his back 4-4-3, where if you feel like your opponent is going to try to press a button in between, you could finish the string out just like so. And the whole string is guaranteed if it hits on counter hit. And if the opponent doesn't get hit, right, you could choose to just take the frame advantage off of the first 2 hits and go into handstand and do whatever mix up you want from there. I don't really use this stance transition as much, but it's good to remember that he has the option. Another stance transition he has is his crouching down forward 4, which is a low. It is +9 on hit, which is really good. You go into a handstand and basically +9 on hit, you get whatever type of mix you want from there. So it's really good. I use this a lot. So he has a couple of moves in handstand that will keep him in handstand after he does it. He has handstand 4 and he has handstand 2-3. 2-3 forward, actually, sorry. 2-3 is a move, is a mid that is -13. So your opponent always has to watch out for the second hit. But if your opponent comes to respect the second hit, then you could just hold forward and get into the handstand stance. He also could press forward within handstand stance, and he does his fake out spin move, and it kind of looks like the animation of his handstand 4. So your opponent will freeze up if you do this move, thinking that the kick is going to come out, and then you could do something else after. It's a gimmick, but it's good to know. The next transition, we're going to talk about something you can only do in heat, and it's heat 3+4. It is a mid attack that is a launcher on hit, and on block is +9, so you can do whatever you want from there. So moving on to the second stance, which is Negativa. It is done by doing down 3+4. He can move forward while he's in Negativa. He can also switch to his handstand stance by pressing up or down. One of the transitions he has in Negativa is 1-2 up 4-3. He has a 1-2 up 4 as well, which you just saw right there. But when you press 1-2 up 4-3, he's going to do this flip and end the low. And from there, you can get a combo with Negativa 3+4, which will screw them. Or you could do Negativa 1 and do whatever filler combo from there to pick up for a combo. This move is negative 14 on block, so you will get punished for using this move, so just be careful. You could do a fake out by just doing 1-2 up 4, but you can't get floated if your opponent tries to jab you out of it, so just keep that in mind. You could also do the flip by itself by just pressing up 4 and 3, and if you do the 3, you will hit with the low, and if you just do the up 4 by itself, you do the fake out. The next transition we're going to talk about to Negativa is 1-3. His 1-3 is his 10 frame punish. On hit, it is +7, so you get a low mix up with 16 frames, and you get a mid mix up with 15 frames. So your opponent is really forced to guess when you punish with this move. 1-3 on block is unsafe by 14 frames, so only use 1-3 for a 10 frame punish. Do not use 1-3 outside of that. The next stance transition mixer we're going to talk about is his down 3. His down 3 will put him Negativa at -4. He's completely safe, so if you choose, you could block after that, or if you feel like your opponent is going to retaliate with a high, you could low crush it with his low, and so on and so forth. This move is only a natural combo on counter hit, and if it hits, you're +5 with enough frame advantage to go into your low mid mix up. So moving on to the next move, we're going to talk about his back 3-3. His back 3-3, I don't really use this move as much unless you have a read on the counter hit, because it's not a natural hit combo and it's unsafe. But on counter hit, it is a launcher. It's a 13 frame launcher on counter hit, which is pretty good. So if you know your opponent's going to press buttons, you can just do that. You can also use it in a combo to transition into Negativa whenever you need to. So keep that in mind. So the next move we're going to talk about that transition to Negativa is his up 4-4. His up 4-4 is really good. It's a mid. It tracks. And if it hits, it transitions to Negativa and you're +12. So you could do whatever mixer you want from there. And on block, it's completely safe. You get your return though, because it's -9, but you are safe. So it's really good. The next move we're going to talk about is his 4-4-3 that transitions to Negativa. It is a low. It has some high on crushing properties, which is really good. It's +6 on hit, so this is perfect for his low mid Negativa frame trap game, and it's really good. On counter hit, it's +15, so you get a guaranteed Negativa 4-3, which is a heat engager, and if you're already in heat, you get a full launcher. So that's really good, and it does really good damage too. So abuse the move. It's a really good move. It is punishable, but it's really good. Another move that transitioned into Negativa is his up back. His up back is his backflip move that transitions to Negativa. And if you feel like your opponent's gonna chase you down, you can press 3, and it just turns into his running 3, and you get the same exact situation if the move is blocked from his running 3. The next move that we're gonna talk about transition Negativa is his Wild Rising 1-3. This move is his 13 frame Wild Rising punish. I will only use this as his punisher because this move is very unsafe on block by 14 frames, so you will get punished for it. So just keep in mind, if you want to stay safe, you could do one while staying at 1-4, but it ends in a high, so you're taking a gamble either way. But if the move hits, you get a full combo just like so. So use it only as a punisher. The next transition I want to talk about is Wild Rising 3+4, which is this move right here. On hit, it knocks down and you get a guaranteed Negativa 3+4, just like so. And on block, it is completely safe at -9, and you're going to Negativa. So the next transition we're going to talk about, and this is probably one of his better moves, is his Wild Crouching down 4-3, and this move is a mid, and on block is +6, and it puts you into Negativa stance. So you get your low high or your low mid mix up from there. So it's really good. On hit, it is +9, so you still get your mix up from there, which is really good. And on counter hit, it is a launcher. So then you go to your Negativa stance transition just like so for your full combo, and it does really good damage. Abuse this move. It's really good on hit or on block. So abuse it. So before I move on to the next transition, I want to talk about Eddy Sidestep 4. It is a low. It is +3 on hit. It has some high crush properties, and it sets up all of his +3 frame traps. And it goes hand in hand with side step 3. His side step 3 is a mid attack that is +8 on hit, and you could cancel his side step 3 as well by holding down, and it will cancel the mid, and you can go straight into your Negativa low attack. Side step 3 will always cancel into his, it will always transition to Negativa. Also, this move is 0 on block, so that means if your opponent tries to do any type of high attack, you can always low crush it with Negativa 3-3. Also, if your opponent tries to challenge you with any type of mid, you're always able to block because you're a 0. So the next transition I want to talk about is from Eddy's handstand stance and his handstand 1. On hit, it transitions on hit or block, it transitions to Negativa. On hit, it is +8, so it sets up for your Negativa mix-ups, and on block, it sets up for your Negativa mix-ups. So if you have the opportunity to transition into this move, I will do this a lot as well. If your opponent respects you and you're able to get the move out, because it is a little bit on the slower side, it is 23 frames. But if your opponent respects your pressure and you're able to use this move, it's really good. Really good. The next transition comes out of handstand stance as well to Negativa, and that's his handstand 3-3-3. It's pretty good if it's blocked, because it's only -5. The last hit transitions to Negativa and it's only -5, so you could block. The only thing about this move is that it is the second and third hit is duckable. So if your opponent blocks the first hit, they could duck the second and third hit and punish you. So keep that in mind. But if the first hit was to hit counter hit, the whole string is guaranteed, and it puts you +13, which is a perfect for your low mid mix up, which is really good. Another thing I would like to point out is that the first hit of this string is a high crush. So if your opponent was to throw out a high move out there, you could counter hit them by high crushing with the handstand 3 and finishing the string. On lower levels, this string is a scrub killer because people like to mash, but on higher levels, people will defend properly and duck the second and third of the string. So you have to use this move accordingly. But if the opponent presses into this attack at any point, the whole string is guaranteed if it hits counter hit. So the next transition we're going to talk about is from Negativa, and it's Negativa 2-4, and when you hold down, you transition back into Negativa. This move is really good. When you transition back into Negativa on hit, the first 2 hits is count as a natural combo, and when you transition back into Negativa, you're +10, and it sets up for your low mid mix up. So that's really good. On counter hit, the second hit, a Negativa 2-4 will combo naturally into the rest of the string, which is Negativa 2-4-4. That move also wall splats as well, so it's good to use at the wall. If this move is blocked, you could transition back into Negativa, right? So if you do 2-4 down, they're going to be +3. So it's a really good move to use. If you're +3 back in Negativa, you don't get a true frame trap being interruptible. But since your opponent has to watch out for the third hit of the string, they will respect it, and then you could go for your mix-ups from there. So it's pretty good to use. So the next transition I want to talk about comes out as handstand 1+3 grab. So it's his handstand 1+3 grab. If you connect with it, it puts you +6, and it puts you in Negativa, and this is perfect for his Negativa mix-ups with his low and his mid. So the next transition I want to talk about comes out as his handstand as well, but you have to have the install, at least the level 1, right? And his handstand back 4. On hit, it is +8, and you transition into Negativa by pressing down, and that's perfect for his low mid mix up. If you have 2 stocks of your install, it causes an automatic knockdown, so you won't able to do anything out of Negativa that way. But if your opponent blocks the attack, just like if he was to do with the level 1 install as well, same thing with level 2, you are +6, and it sets up the low mid frame trap perfectly out of Negativa. So it's an okay move. I don't really get a chance to use it as much, but it's pretty cool. So the next transition I'm going to talk about, you can only do in heat, is his quarter circle forward 4. It is a high, but on block, you are +9, and you're able to do your negativa mix-ups from there. The same thing applies to his heat smash. You're +6, and you're able to do your negativa mix-ups from there as well. So that's pretty much the end of the road for this video. This has been a Tekken 8 Eddy Gordo stance transition ultimate guide. Hopefully you was able to learn something new today, and if you was able to learn something new, please smash the like button. I greatly appreciate it. I will be having more content, Tekken 8 content in the future, so if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I greatly appreciate it. Smash the like button. Hope all of you have a nice day. Peace.